was reading just a phenomenal article on Yahoo Sports, of all places, that got some phenomenal quotes from 49ers linebacker Fred Warner. And this is a guy who is kind of the engine. He's the heart and soul. It started with D'Amico Ryans really setting the entire defense around Fred Warner, how he plays, allowing his inexperienced cornerbacks to stay on the same side of the field and allow his linebacking crew that's so good to move and take care of things in between. He really completely changed the identity of this defense. And that identity has continued now as we're into a new coach and he's moved on to the Texans. But the identity's changed. But the face of that defense, the man in the middle, has not. It is Fred Warner. And he took, and he was talking about how their playoff scars now motivate them this year. Now, we don't have to be a genius to remember everything that happened last year. I'm not going to sit here and make you sit in it. But Fred Warner's gonna. He said, you always remember those moments. You always. I think it's important during times like last year in Philly, you see the confetti going down. You see them with their hats and their T-shirts on the stage. They're happy, and you're standing there watching it all happen. And really, it all happened even before the confetti fell, before everybody was on stage. It happened earlier in the year when Garoppolo got hurt, or even before that with Lance, or even well after that in the middle of the game or in the beginning of the game when Brock Purdy gets hurt and you're going to Josh Johnson. All right, in this article, they do a really nice job. They say lessening the chances of victory. It destroyed your chances at victory. Fred Warner went on to say, he goes, I could put myself back there in that moment. And the part that sucks is that you can't just blink and you're right back into having an opportunity to go back and do it again. You start from ground one, OTAs, minicamp, training camp. All right, so here's what that tells you. From the beginning, they're a team that their whole goal was to get back and win the Super Bowl. We know that about the Niners. We know that's what it is every year, but this year especially. And then after they got to play against the Eagles again and absolutely destroyed the Eagles, all right, when both teams only had one, well, actually the Niners at that point had 3 losses, but the Eagles, I believe, had 1 or 2. They just hammered them. All right, just hammered them. And then Fred Warner went on to say, you got to build the team back up again. And it just feels like yesterday we were doing that. But you blink and we're here. It's the start of the playoffs and we're here, right back to where you want to be with an opportunity to do something special with the right type of guys. And now you have a red-hot opponent coming in. A red-hot opponent. And here's the thing. I have a good friend of mine, 2 of them actually, are big Packers fans. And what I love to tell them is, hey, there's nothing certain. Nothing is more certain about winter than Christmas, okay? We live in Michigan, so cold weather, and the 49ers beating the Packers. Like, that's just how it goes. But Aaron Rodgers is gone. You owned Aaron Rodgers. And you got this red-hot Packers team coming in here, almost kind of a little bit of a you don't know what you don't know, so they're just playing. But here's what they don't have, and here's what Fred Warner said. I think that's what the scars are for. You remember those moments. So it's like, how can I not give my all to this? How can I not make sure it's everything to me, my teammates, and obviously to the coaches? That's what those scars are for. You are going to play a young Packers team, an excited Packers team. Don't get me wrong. And a red-hot Packers team. Honestly, a Packers team that in many ways reminds me of the San Francisco 49ers. The way in which the offense is ran reminds me of the 49ers. The defense reminds me of the 49ers. The difference? They're not as talented. They're not as talented. And even when you hear Jordan Love and they're celebrating in the locker room and he says, all I have to say is, what can they say now? It's not them, a team. They're looking at what they're doing. They're not a team at looking at what's next. You've been looking at what's next. You've had your eye on the prize. Sometimes when you combine the talent that you have, the experience that you have, plus the right mindset of preparing for what's next, it can give you an advantage. I think you are the older, more experienced team. I know that. Packers have, I believe, the youngest roster in the NFL. You're the older, more experienced team. The Packers are good. They're going to put up a fight. You're just better. And this is the year to take advantage of it because there are a lot of young, up-and-coming teams in the NFC. All right? As you know on this channel, we're Lions fan. You see the Lions back there. But we grew up loving the 49ers too. Who couldn't in the 90s? Are you kidding me? So beautiful. The red and the gold. And just absolutely beautiful. Lions would play at 1. I get to watch Barry Sanders. Then at 4 o'clock, the 49ers were almost always on. You get to watch Steve Young. You get to watch Montana. You get to watch Jerry Rice. Then it turned into T.O. Some of my favorite memories were that catch, T.O., against the Packers. Just thinking about sports and growing up, the 49ers were always in the middle of it. And even with Jeff Garcia, that's weird to say. All right, but and now there is the newest iteration of it. This is a team that will be here for a long time. You are going to be good for a long time. It's time to start winning the big one. This is a team that has the talent. Brock Purdy is ready. In year 2, go out there, make it happen. Can't wait to see the game. Stay here. We want to be your go-to spot for the 49ers. We do. We're going to keep putting out videos. You're going to see a bunch of me this week while Chris, the other guy's on vacation. All right, so, he's not on vacation. What am I talking about? He's on a work trip. We have real jobs. So this is just a fun sidekick. So anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know, what do you think is the key to the game? Are those scars enough to make sure you're in the winner's circle when it's all said and done? All right, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.